I'm Donalyn Miller. Welcome to the Book Whisperer, Back to the Books. This week I thought we'd focus on how to engage dormant middle school readers. As a teacher, I've learned to kind of move away from terms like struggling and reluctant reader. I don't feel there's a lot of hope in those terms. I need to believe that my students can become successful, confident readers, and I want them to be able to believe that too. Phrases like dormant reader help me understand that every one of my students has the ability to become an engaged reader. We just need to work together to awaken that spirit inside them. Middle school readers who may not have had many successful reading experiences often struggle with book selection. They often worry about how the types of books that they're reading are perceived by their peers. And so matching them with books that tie back to their interests, that tap into kid culture, popular culture, movies can be a great way to connect some of our less engaged middle school readers with fantastic books. Book talking on a regular basis is a great way to put more books in front of our students. It helps broaden their knowledge of the types of books that are available for them to read, and that power of the peer that we see in a middle school classroom can really help a book catch fire with kids. One student will pick up a book and then they will book talk it to their friends and pass that book around the classroom. Kwame Alexander's Newbery-winning book, The Crossover, is a book that I will always have in my classroom toolbox. That book has gotten so many kids excited about reading, and I'm excited to share with you his latest book, Booked, which appears in our book fair this fall. Booked is similar in format to The Crossover, and that it's a novel in verse. I find this appealing to students who may be daunted by a long book, who may be uncertain that they can finish a complete book. There's something about the ease of reading the free verse poetry that I think is appealing to many kids without much reading experience. It's the type of book that they can make pace through. I also know that teachers will love the vocabulary, the language, the structure of the book. The book is about a young man who is a soccer fan. His father is a scholar. He is dismayed that his father makes him read the dictionary and memorize words from the dictionary. He talks about how his father wrote a book and it had footnotes. And part of the style of this book is that Kwame Alexander has included footnotes from Nick at the bottom of many pages. It's a great way to introduce students to some new vocabulary words they might not know. Nick's relationship with his father is one that many of our students can probably relate to. His father has very high expectations for him. Nick just wants to play soccer. Just like The Crossover, this book has deeper layers to it beyond just soccer and vocabulary. Nick's going through some real challenges at home, and also his future as a soccer player is uncertain. One of the things I often like to do as a reader is push myself to read things that I might not normally read, and this book, Blood Will Tell by April Henry, certainly fit the bill. I am a little squeamish about murder mysteries and a little worried about reading books that are too violent, but this book was so compelling. I read it in about 2 sittings. Your students that like true crime shows or detective shows on TV will certainly appreciate this book. It's about a young man named Nick who is a volunteer for a search and rescue unit. They go out and help find missing children. They help search for remains from people who have been killed. And during one of the cases, they stumble across the body of a young girl. That discovery opens up an entire second storyline where Nick himself is considered to be a suspect in this crime. Fast-paced, exciting, and certainly a book that middle school students will enjoy. This next book is a book that I think every teenager should read because it certainly ties into some challenges that we have with our students. In Case You Missed It by Sarah Dara Littman is about a young woman who's a junior in high school. She's got her whole life planned out. She has all these goals. She's also a little bit of a sneak, a little bit of a liar. In order to get away with things, she tells white lies. She doesn't tell her parents everything. She has a rich life online, files that she keeps private about all her adventures, and accidentally, the bank where her father works is hacked and her entire files are released online, and she has to live with the fallout of what she's put out into the world, the lies that she's told, the rules that she's broken. It's a fantastic book to share with our students who are often struggling on how to manage their own digital profiles and what they put out into the world. I'm excited to share a wonderful new book that we have in the book fair this season, The Scourge by Jennifer Nielsen. A lot of us know Jennifer Nielsen's great books like The False Prince and A Night Divided, and this book is a complete departure from some of her other works. The Scourge follows a young girl who lives in a community that's besieged by a terrible plague. She's taken against her will and tested for this disease known as the Scourge, and is shocked to discover that she tests positive for this plague. She's exiled to an island with other refugees and has to figure out how she'll survive. For your students that love post-apocalyptic and dystopian books like The Hunger Games, this would be a home run for them. I hope you discovered some new books and strategies for engaging your dormant middle school readers. Don't forget to take advantage of your Scholastic Book Fair's classroom wish list when the book fair comes to your school. It's a wonderful way to add new books to your classroom libraries. I look forward to talking to you again in the next episode of the Book Whisperer Back to the Books.